Hello Eternum and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news, and this is the War Report. No change in the dynamic of Eternum last night as the forces of Here Be Mutineers retained control of the always contentious Restless Shore. In other news, a tentative peace agreement between the factions last night in Great Cleave's Eastburn outpost as multiple faction representatives agreed to a ceasefire in efforts to maximize their collection of salt. However, tensions are high after 8 months of fighting and skirmishes are still breaking out along the roads. Putting aside the on-the-nose nature of the currency's naming convention, we spoke with an advocate for peace.
Sometimes, people turn on people. We're all trying to make this a peace area. And, that's the unfortunate thing is sometimes just peace doesn't happen.
As if on cue, a fight broke out between Hex 2.0 and Weeptile TTV as KOTT news crews were egressing the area. KOTT would like to thank Governor Weeptile for personally seeing to our safety during our coverage of the event. Back in Monarch's Bluff, a USO event was being presented in the Fountain Square Park. The show put on by Bob Ross and the backup dancers made for a relaxing decompression from all the conflict. Checking in on the forecast for tomorrow, and it's looking like another beautiful morning again all day long until a 20% chance of invasion arises in the evening in Brightwood and Cutlass Keys. 5 lineup submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. Up first, the Syndicate forces of Here Be Monsters assault the Zealots of Booty Clapital for control of the Bamboo Forest Preserves and Medicinal Hot Springs of Ebonscale. Here Be Monsters make their second attempt to capture the hot springs after failing against the forces of Hammer 2 weeks ago. And since a different Covenant faction now controls the hamlet, this will mark the first time the forces of Booty Clapital will defend their capital. Then, the Covenant forces of Green Smells Really Bad assail the Marauders of the Resurgent for control of First Light and the flow of the spice. The newcomers of Green Smells Really Bad make their move against the merchants in their bid to become the ruling Spice Lords. Resurgent leadership have continued the ongoing repairs to the hamlet following the giant spice blob incident last week, and are now capable of preparing for war. Meanwhile, the Covenant forces of Lost Templar challenge the Marauders of Hooded X Outcasts for their championship title and the right to rule over Everfall. Lost Templar returned to the ring after their defeat to the champs 2 weeks ago, making this their third attempt to take the belt. For Hooded X Outcasts, a victory tonight will bring their Neverfall total to 9, moving them to within striking distance of second place on the all-time Neverfall list, currently held by Elysian, with 10. In the nightcap, the Syndicate forces of Perplexuals snatch and grab the Marauders of Hooded X Outcasts, attempting to steal the financial capital of Windsward. The forces of Perplexuals seek to expand their empire by enriching their wallets and financing their future ambitions. The forces of Hooded X Outcasts will need to overcome the fatigue of fighting in back-to-back wars. They've done it before, we'll see if they can do it again. In the late matchup, the Syndicate forces of Nyancat attack the Marauders of Nameless Corgi for control of the master fishing port town of Reekwater. The newcomers of Nyancat arrive on the scene, riding their rainbow, and of course, they're sniffing around the fish markets. Nameless Corgi have seen the rainbow and come barking at the cats, chasing them out to the fort, where the first official cat and dog fight of the island will take place. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.